What's up, y'all? Today I'm going to talk to you guys about a possible protest, something that we can actually do besides just talking about it. Not saying being informative is a negative thing because it never is. Knowledge is power. We know that. That's why your government holds it from you because when you're informed, you make different decisions, you make better decisions, and they don't want you to make informed decisions. Same way with the schools, they're ran like warehouses. They're training you to be a worker. They're not training you to be intelligent. They're not training you to use critical thinking. Usually when kids show up to the school, they're already intelligent. They already know how to think. They already know how to observe. But we've gotten lost as a society. Um, and we've been lost for a while. Uh, Everybody seems to be, well, most of the people, according to the statistics, seem to be fed up with this regime, much like every president regime. We all reach this point. We reach this point with every president. We can cherry pick, we can say what's worse and what's not, but it's really a progression thing. It's something that's been slowly getting worse as we go along. Um, and funny enough, I think that this regime kind of shot themselves in the foot with their approach in the first place, um, to our benefit. Actually, if we actually do something about it, if we just keep talking about it, then it's not to our benefit because nothing's going to change. If pressure made them respond or made them do the right thing, they'd have done the right thing many moons ago. Our politicians have been playing this game forever. It's not some new thing. Um, Same with spreading information. There's a little bit of disingenuousness going on with us as well. We act like we're the woke, enlightened generation or something, but technically we are not. Before us, there were people talking about this. Before you had social media, before you had this type of access to one another, before you had this landscape of entertainment or whatever you want to call it, you had radio, you had people meeting in groups, you had people writing books, you had people spreading all this information. And I can, we can all go back. We can all go back and find people who were pioneers for spreading information and spreading knowledge and spreading truth. Um, but the problem is we never did anything about it. We kept looking for the answer to come from inside, and it's never going to happen. It is never going to happen. They'll just trick you and manipulate you again, and it'll stay status quo. That's why you got all these ship jumpers, because right now the approval rating is so low that nobody even wants to be tied to this now. They want to get the stench off of them. They want to get the blood off of them. So you got people jumping ship, but I wouldn't trust it because somebody has to keep it intact. How do you know it's not premeditated or planned within as the whole group? Just like George Carlin said years ago, and just like everybody with a brain knows, these guys shake hands behind the cameras when it's over. There's no such thing as right and left to them. That just exists for us. It's only for us. It's not for them. That's the show they put on to keep us divided and give us something to fight over and give us the illusion that we have some sort of choice when we don't, because come to find out, all these people hang out together. I hold what I view for our nation very, I take it serious. So if we're enemies and we don't agree on philosophy when it comes to how a country should be ran or how the citizens should be taken care of, I'm never going to be your friend and shake your hand. We're not going to be buddy buddy if we disagree on almost everything. Why? Not saying that you can't agree to disagree, but we're talking about more important things than just what team you like. So that's kind of first and foremost. we have to wake up to that fact. We're still not there yet. You know what I mean? Like I said in my last video, the Democrats are clapping like Bill Clinton isn't. Like, come on, man. We can't do that. We can't pick and choose. They've all taken us to war. They've all stolen our money. They've all poisoned us. They've allowed corporations and big businesses to do whatever the hell they wanted because they financially back them. That's where they get their money from. So it's a fight. These corporations back this side, these corporations back this side, and whichever side wins, those are the corporations that get all the benefits. Those are the corporations that get all the laws passed for them. We can't have that. That's the danger of a capitalist society, because one day you'll wake up and the corporations are running your country. And that's dangerous because corporations only care about money. It's greed. They don't care about anything else. That's what they're there to do. So I think this regime shot themselves in the foot by making politics so popular. Now, you could say, like, we've had people before, like maybe JFK made it a little popular because he was the youngest. But he got assassinated, and we all know why. Or we should, but I'm not talking about that today. We had Barack Obama, and he was a first. But the thing about him is, and the thing about JFK is, they played the role of a throwback politician. They got up there, they spoke well, they carried themselves professionally. So it doesn't really ding your bell as much. Like, yeah, of course, there was a lot of talking. You had a lot of racists who wouldn't let it go. They ran their mouth for the whole time he was in office. And then you had a lot of people who just voted for him because it was a first. Maybe it'll work. But see, the problem is this, it's all orchestrated. That's why the solution is never, ever, ever going to come from inside. And we have to get that out of our heads. If we don't actually do anything, we will not see change. You'll see another calm before another storm. That's all you're going to see. You're not going to see real change. So why are we going to just sit by and continue to talk when there's plenty of things that we could do to fight back? And I'm not talking about a revolution. I'm not talking about that. I'm fine with that too, but that's not what I'm talking about. That comes with a lot of danger. Not only does it obviously put all of our lives and all of our children's lives at risk, and nobody wants to risk that. But unfortunately, if we don't come up with something to do soon, it may come to that, except we may not have a choice. The people who want to see the change and are intelligent enough to come up with ways that would actually be effective, since all they care about is money, then if it comes down to a revolution, a lot of lives are going to get lost, and we're going to make our country vulnerable. So while it may have to come to that, I'm sure we could all agree, especially if we have children, we will prefer it not to. Now I'm going to talk about protest. So the way we've protested in the past is just fine. It's how everything's gotten done. It's how anything has gotten changed. Nothing has gotten changed without it. Because again, they don't really work for you. They're not going to do anything unless you make them. Unless you hurt or affect their bottom line. So this protest that I'm suggesting is one that is taken from the COVID book. So shelter in place, while I would be all for it because I think that would be the most damning way, because it would have the greatest impact. It would affect the most money. I also have empathy for the ones who have a lot to lose as far as that's concerned and don't want to make that sacrifice. I understand the fear. It doesn't have to be that way. You can just use that concept and implement a protest that will be effective, that won't impact your security. Um, Now, in the past, we've all gone out in the street. We've gone to the street or to the businesses or to the places or to the officials' offices, and we've stood outside and picketed. And a lot of times we see violence in sight. We see negative, we see a negative, we see them get undermined. I'll just leave it at that. They get undermined. There's paid disruptors who go, there's officials and people in certain law enforcement who go and disrupt, incite violence, provoke. We all know this. People from the other party side who don't agree, they come, they provoke. It's, it's disgusting, honestly, because that's just a passive way to take away your rights. That's a passive way to take away your rights. And that's why they use the police to do that. They use the police a lot in plain clothes to go and incite violence at these protests. That's why they go mask up and all that shit. Because that's what they do anyway. They undermine your rights. That's what they're there for. They don't care about your rights. The police aren't there to protect your rights. They're there to they're there to uphold the control. They're there to make sure the control stays intact. They're there to make sure you know that you have a boss. And that's kind of sick, especially when you think you live in a free country. But if you got a brain, once again, you don't. If you lived in a free country, your constitutional rights will mean something. But unfortunately, they don't. And you can't pick out a case where constitutional rights got upheld and use that as your proof when somebody can counter with the opposite. If the Constitution was meant to be concrete, it's not meant for interpretation unless it's changed. And I personally don't see anything wrong with the Constitution. I think it's well written, except for the fact that it's not followed. It's pick and choose like everything else in this country. There is no honesty here. Now, I could go deeper into what I think we could do for the protest, but I'll keep it real simple. All they care about is money, right? We're all sick with the billions they have and the taxes they evade and the murders they get away with and the rapes they get away with and the assaults they get away with and the rights they violate and the people they lock up for nothing and all the stuff they do. And I'm talking about your officials because they're the ones at the top. You should know what's going on in your courthouses. You should know what's going on in your police forces. But they're doing their work for them. They work for the politicians. The politicians don't give a shit about you as long as control stays in place and as long as they keep counting their money. And that's all it's about anyway. Now, I think we all agree about the Epstein files, except for the people that are still supporting Trump because they have to do like mental gymnastics to still stand behind him at this point. So we'll just delete them. There are a small percentage left. What is it, like 30% left? So we'll just delete them. We don't need them. So and what I mean is that's all that's left. So that little bit of percentage of people isn't really going to affect the protest. If they don't want to participate, it's still not going to change the impact that the protest could have. This isn't a new thing. I remember when COVID happened and they told us we could all go back. In my head, I'm like, fuck you. You don't have that right. You don't tell me what to you just take away our whole livelihoods within a day's with no notice. You tell us we can't come outside. You put the military I don't know where you guys were, but where I was, there was military at the grocery store. That's crazy. So, and they had, like the little metal divide, like when you go to an amusement park, like it was ridiculous. And they're, holding the door. Guy with a gun standing there holding the door and only letting certain people go in the grocery store. Like it was wild. So a lot of us, I know I wasn't the only one, you know what I mean? This isn't about ego, but a lot of us were saying, like, what happens if we don't go back? What happens if we say no? But here we are. Nobody did it, and here we are. That's what I want you to be cautionary about. We didn't act then, and here we are. And a lot of people are still pushing the narrative. It's starting to heat up. I'm starting to see more people talking about a protest and boycotting and stuff like that. So it's making me happy. But at the same time, with these influencers, man, they're still standing on this left right shit, and I just ain't gonna get into it. I'm not gonna fall for it. I never believed in it. I'll never believe in it. I don't care what they say. It's not lazy. It's not passive. It is a stance of its own, and it's a stance that actually endorses unity, United States of America, not division. So, as far as that's concerned, just know that. Mark my words and wait and see. Ain't nothing going to change. The prices of shit ain't going to go down enough to impact you and help you. Your wages aren't going to go up enough to impact and help you. We're still going to be blowing shit up. We're still going to be killing innocent kids in different countries, and we're just so desensitized to it. You notice we only get upset when the other side does it. When our side, if you believe in that sort of thing, does it, then it's no biggie. It just has to happen, or it's really sad. I wish we wouldn't do this, but this is still my guy. Dude, I can't picture me being the guy who sits in a fucking chair and authorizes blowing up a school full of little kids, little girls. You sick fuck. And I cannot believe the amount of fathers with daughters and just any kids, because daughter, son, no different. One's no better than the other. One's no more important or special than the other. That can still back this guy when he lied right to your face and said no wars. He's going to fix the economy. He's made everything worse. Not a single thing has improved. Everything's gotten worse. And everything he told you he was going to do, he hasn't done. And everything he told you he wasn't going to do, he has done. That's the devil. The liar's tongue, talking in riddles, opposite meanings. So you guys keep on thinking that. Keep on thinking that it's not that. Keep on thinking that, oh, it's necessary now because I can't be wrong. Are you guys really going to let your egos ruin the entire nation? I mean, you guys must not have kids. That's all I can say. So now this protest, a lot that's come up in the Epstein files is the exposure of Hollywood, or just the confirmation, because we already knew. Let's grow up. Let's look back in history, and let's be honest. We've been talking about the Illuminati and Hollywood and the devil and demons and witchcraft and possession and brainwashing and psyops. We've been talking about that shit since forever. I mean, I was born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s, and it was being talked about then. I'll admit I noticed a big uptick in it after 9/11. So it's been a long time. It's been a while since we've known. But now we're seeing that implication with the Epstein files being connected to Hollywood. And now everybody's sick and everybody's done with it. Like, oh, it's all true. We gotta. Okay. So there's a start. Your entertainment industry. I'm pretty good at remembering stuff, but because I had to do some math, I wrote it down. The US media and entertainment industry is the largest in the world. Largest in the world, us, the US. You guys upset because you're broke. You're upset because you don't make as much as you think you should. You're upset because you're overworked. We got a lot of money to waste on entertainment, guys, because we spent $650 billion on it in a year. It's projected this year to go up to 800 billion, a $200 billion increase, while little girls just got bombed by us. While the guy who said he was going to release the files turned around and told us to our face it was a hoax. Is it Hollywood? Are they demonic? Are they demons? Are they brainwashing us? Are they putting spells on us? Then why do you still support them? Why can't we save $650 billion? You guys sick of these big corporations? Amazon, $638 billion. You don't have to buy stuff on Amazon. We don't really need as much shit as we buy, like not even close. We overconsume like a motherfucker. That's why we're all obese. You guys can blame them, but at some point you gotta take accountability. We know they're poisoning us. Shit, I remember talking about it in the early 2000s. I remember watching documentaries by Michael Moore when I was a kid. I remember, not everybody didn't care. A lot of people cared about the world when they were little. A lot of people paid attention. A lot of people are neurodivergent. They're observers. They pick up energy. They pay attention. They learn how to pay attention to details, read between the lines, know when a story doesn't make sense, and then they investigate. A lot of people enjoy doing that. This isn't some new phenomenon because we have social media. We had computers back then. A lot of us were doing it then. So far we're at 649 billion per year for the entertainment industry, media included. We're at 638 billion per year for Amazon. How about Walmart? How much money does Walmart make per year? 681 billion. Walmart. Do you have to shop at Walmart? Social media. Now, I don't know if social media got included in entertainment and media. Whether it did or it didn't, it generates another $150 billion. Do you really need that shit? Because like I said before, didn't nobody download social media to keep up with their great grandmother in Ireland or somewhere that they couldn't go see? Bullshit. That's not why we have it. That's just what they brainwashed us into thinking it was for. But as soon as we got it, we realized really quick that's not what it's about. And we don't use it that way because we're sheep. Same reason why we got brainwashed in the first place with secular music and a lot of other things, the movies, the food, marketing. And it's all to the children. It ain't really about us. They just want to keep the next generation in the loop. So they always market to kids. They want to get the kids sucked in and they start as soon as they come out. That's why as soon as your baby's born, they shove 65. They shoot a magic concoction into them right as soon as they're born. Like it's ridiculous, the stuff that they do to people. So if you add all that up, and that's just a couple things, is that really that hard? Like, ask yourself, is it really that hard to delete your social media accounts? Is it really that hard to boycott the industry? Delete your streaming apps? Is it really that hard to shop somewhere else instead of Amazon? Is it really that hard to shop somewhere else other than Walmart? And that's just some of it. We could do more. If you added all this up It's $2 trillion per year. And what's crazy is if you look at the projections for this year, a lot of these numbers are set to go up by like 30% or even 50%. 30 to 50% increase this year is what's projected for these sources I just laid out for you. So it's highly weird, but they're projected to see a $200 billion increase this year. It's sad, man, because we sit up here and we talk, but we don't walk. If talking was going to work, it'll work by now. None of these influencers are any more special than the cats that were on the radio back in the day. They're no more important. They're no more, you know what I mean? So I would urge these people to use their platforms to call for action. We're all aware. We just either agree on things or we don't agree on things, but we're all aware. The majority of us have woken up. And the funny thing is, a lot of us, underrated percentage of us, were already awake. And a lot of us were saying it in high school. That's why you had the kids scribbling anarchy symbols on their desks and their notebooks and listening to underground music and rebellion music, because everybody felt it, everybody saw it. Same with the 70s. This isn't some new thing, and we can't just keep thinking that talking about it is going to do anything, because it's not. And how many fucking generations are we going to look for some fucking savior from the inside? It's not going to fucking happen. It would have happened already. They control who it is. And we all sit around and talk about all they care about is money. These billionaires, these elitists, we fucking get on our soapbox, but we keep fucking spending money with them. Where are they getting their money from? From us. With the taxes that we pay that we shouldn't, and the shit that we consume that we shouldn't. And I'm not being because I grew up like that. I listened to all kinds of vile music. I watched all kinds of vile content. So I'm not saying that I'm outside of this box. I'm just saying, if we want to do something about it, why can't we? Don't say we can't do anything, and stop thinking that talking and picking some new fucking country daddy is going to fix it. It's not going to fix it. Why do we keep thinking that picking another puppet is the answer? It's not the fucking answer. It would have worked already. They shot JFK, and since they shot JFK for 80 fucking years, it's been left, right, left, right, left, right. They all get a turn, and that's what's getting ready to happen right now. Then we're going to get a Democrat, I guarantee it. And I said that when he won. We're going to get a Democrat, and it's going to be business as usual, except it's going to get a little more quiet. This is how it works. Every time you get one, you get the relief coming in next. This is how it works. What's different than what Donald Trump is doing and what George Bush Jr. did? Gas prices look the same. The war looks the same. The lies look the same. The mockery looks the same. And if you look at Obama and you look past his smile and his professionalism, he was doing all the same shit too. Bill Clinton balanced the budget, but according to a lot of smart people, he sunk the fucking economy to do so. He sacrificed the future to do so. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take for the left and the right to wake up equally and say, hey, wait, we should be holding hands. We should be standing together. Your side's lying to you and my side's lying to me. Fuck them. Let's do something about it. We're all citizens. When we go home, I promise you, we all have the same grievances. We all have the same complaints, the same fears, the same worries, the same sadness, the same anger. And the ones who don't just decide not to look. Or they're numb. So my question is, how long are we going to stay numb, and how long are we going to just keep talking about it like a soap opera? And by the way, politics isn't fucking gossip. The state of our nation and the future of my fucking children, I don't look at that like gossip. So I'm going to just say that. Every American in this country should be standing up and talking about this shit. Every American in this country should be concerned and worried. Every person, every human being, I don't care what you are, black, white, gay, straight, don't give a shit. We're all people. We're all human beings. We all bleed. We all gotta die. We all have hearts. We all love. A lot of us, many of us, most of us have children that we care about. So let's cut the bullshit and deal with life. Actually do something. The difference between what I'm suggesting and boycotting and simply going out in the street and picketing is there's a risk that comes with that, because people are paid to disrupt that. They want to get you in a public space so they can come fuck with you. When we upgrade, they upgrade. Boycotts and picketing and protests worked really well, and we're all grateful for that. But the problem is it doesn't stand a chance, because you get rioters that show up and take advantage and steal shit. And you have officials, police officers, FBI, whoever the fuck it is, that get sent in. And yeah, police officers, and they come in plain clothes, but I'm sure they send more people. They come in plain clothes. They disguise themselves and they incite violence. They provoke. And you don't have to be subject to that, because all it does is undermine your movement. It defaces your movement, and your government knows that. That's why they do that. Understand that. If you just stop spending on this, not only will you save some money for yourself, but how much do you think $2 trillion would make them wake the fuck up? Now, obviously, everybody's not going to participate, but still, they can't handle no loss, because they're planning on increase. If they're planning on a $200 billion increase, how shocked do you think they would be if they actually saw a $200 billion decrease? What kind of impact would that have? Do you think they would listen? Do you think we'd at least get their attention and let them know that we're not fucking playing? So I don't know what to tell y'all, but let's not sit around and act like there ain't nothing that we can do and that it's got to be violent, because it doesn't. It can be peaceful. We just have to update our resumes, look to the past, and improve upon it. They laid the foundation for us to fight for our rights. We just have to improve upon it. We live in a new time. Take advantage of the new things you have, like this fucking thing in your hand, and use it to organize and protest, boycott. They blackball people all day long. Blackball them. Show them how it feels. And maybe they'll listen. because that's who your politicians work for. These companies right here. That's who they work with. That's who they pass laws for. That's who they pardon out of prison. They don't pardon no regular people because they use it for it's campaign shit. It's bullshit. It's a sham. It's manipulation. So I don't know. I'm starting to see more people talk about it, but I'd really like for more of these platformers to start talking about it. I really like for more of these people with all this influence and all this sway to punch higher and start talking about it. Or maybe they're just delusional, or who knows? Maybe they work for them. You ever think about that? But I hope you guys found this well, and I hope you really start to consider, because I promise you, with everything, if we don't do something big, something drastic, something impactful, it is not gonna fucking change. And we'll be sitting here 10 years later with the same stupid looking faces talking about the same stupid shit, the same heinous shit, the same vile shit. They're just gonna learn how to hide it better. Know that. So I hope you all have a good one.